I am Lisa Angonese. I'm a community activist and a Whittier parent. My connection to the school is my children have been attending Whittier for a year in September. My son is now in 8th grade. He will be going into 8th grade. He's 13, and my daughter will be going into gifted 7th. She's 11 years old.
What room are we in here?
This is a library that we created. It's our library created solely from donations of people in the community who were reaching out to us to help us because we had no library. We were only one out of 160 Chicago public schools without a library and still without a library.
How are the books paid for in this building?
The books are donations from people in the community who have reached out to help us and have donated over 4,000 books. We have 1,000 in storage, and we have 2 volunteer librarians, one from the Museum of Art, the Contemporary Art, and another volunteer from the Art Institute who's been with us from the beginning. And what we do is have magazine writing for the kids, zine writing, and we read to the kids, and we also have an after-school program in here from 2:45 to 6 o'clock Monday through Friday.
And the building we're in is La Casita.
Yes.
You were in the meeting with Jean-Claude Brizard recently,
Yes.
and what were you trying to say to him when you had a meeting with him?
We're trying to say we really feel it's unfeasible to put the library in the main building, and our reasoning was where were they going to put the special ed children because they're taking out a special education room. But I also want to make it clear that the school is too small, and you know they are always getting children in the school, and they had to take out, and this is per fact, I've asked many parents who have been going to the school's been here for over 30 years, that they did have a library at one time, a long time ago, which was removed because of lack of space and replaced with a classroom. So they don't make any sense at all. In fact, they're being hypocritical because to me the CPS, the board, they care nothing for the children, and they are a bunch of liars. So they've been handing us what are blatant lies. Let me give you an example. They told us in that meeting that we're not responsible for, but there's $150,000 that they already spent for tearing down a wall in the space which is supposed to be the library. And when we came back to them and told them that our sources tell us that all that was done was the edge of a carpet picked up. There was no wall torn down, and that was nothing but a blatant lie that they threw in our faces, trying to make it seem like we owed them money.
So if we could get in that building right now, we could probably see that there isn't a wall torn down?
Only the carpet picked up.
Will they let you in the building to look at it?
No, they won't. As a matter of fact, they've turned down one of the mothers earlier. I believe they told her that we are no longer allowed entrance into the building, and that's where I would like to say that this, and in one of these articles here, Becky Carroll says that there's still 2 rooms used for pull-out sessions next year. How do we know that? We're not allowed to go into the building. Neither are we allowed to see the space. And even if we were, we don't agree with it. Because we know by teachers, parents, just about everybody in this community has children in Whittier, that school is overcrowded. That's why they fought for an expansion for almost 7 years. The school needs an expansion. How do they think they're going to put a library in a crowded school where there's 44 children in the 8th grade class and the children in 6th and 7th grade are sharing a room?
When you met with CEO Brizard, did he verbalize the idea that he's going to put in the library on the 2nd floor in a building that's not ADA compliant? And did he say that the choice for kids who are in wheelchairs would be to go to a different school?
That was the answer that they gave me when I said in my very heartfelt way that I can't imagine someone coming into our school in a wheelchair being carried to the 2nd floor to use the library, even to check out a book. After all, the use of a library, it's a human right. We all need to read. We all should have a right to reading magazines and books, especially someone with a disability who really should have more accessibility than we do. And there are no elevators in the building.
How far would a student who goes to Whittier have to walk to get to a public library?
You know where it is? It's on 18th and Loomis. A good walk for a child, especially since there are many homeless people on the street, and there's many people, adults walking around, and you wouldn't want to have an elementary school child walking to the library. This is an inner city school here. And it's almost as if they're telling us, well, this is a poor neighborhood, stay poor. You're going to get a room the size of a cage in this school and just stay poor. We don't care what the children think. And if the kids can't go up to the second floor, we'll just send them somewhere else. That's the way they look at it. They don't care about the children's welfare, about the fact that the children have special needs and they need more attention. They're telling us that their rules are to send them somewhere else. Well, wouldn't that be hard on the children? They don't even think of that. And not only that, but as far as this place goes, it's been a special place for a long time here. And the ignorance of CPS to not fix the roof on this building is, to me, unbelievable. You know how much it would cost to put the roof on this building? $25,000, and supposedly $19,000 has already been spent for a walkthrough of one room to build what they call a library. They could have already helped us a long time before now, so we can see the kind of game they're playing. They just want to keep our money. It's all about the money to them.
What do you say to this idea the Trib is pushing that somebody at CPS wonders who's behind your group? Is somebody behind your group?
Who's behind the group is the parents who have been fighting for over 7 years for every kind of reparation they've had done within that main building. The parents have had this group going for a long time, and it is a parent-run group. Everyone who had formed the group in the first place was a committee of mothers, and the mothers and their kids come out here to play in the playground and use the field house. That's how we became La Casita, because the mothers and children would come into the field house and they would do after school tutoring or you know, watch their kids in the field house. But we feel that it can be a safe haven in the community to keep crime out of the community too. Because after school closes, we have our after school program, and we also have the building open to, say, 8 o'clock to get the kids off the street as a legitimate safe haven in the community.
Has the demands of the Whittier group changed over time? That's what the Trib is trying to get across, is that you can't make up your mind what you want.
That money has been allocated to us since September of last year for this building and for renovations of this building through Senator Edward Acevedo, which, by the way, we went to Springfield to get a letter to assure that we would get those monies. And Senator Acevedo's words were, CPS cannot have that money. That money belongs to La Casita. So we are looking for his support, as we do already have a document stating that the money is insured from Muniz and Acevedo, and I believe Solis also. This is the monies that's supposed to be for the building, and also the TIF allocation, which adds up to at least $64,000.
If in the end, CEO Brizard stops the construction and nothing changes by the start of the fall school year, will you guys view that as a setback, as a victory, or what?
What we will do is stay here until we get our demands met. Because we know that this has been ongoing. We know that this building is needed in the community. If there's further support that we need to get from city officials and politicians, we will seek that support. We'll even go as far as President Obama to seek support. We are not stopping anywhere.
Are you asking CPS to design a library and community space, or have you guys already done that? Talk about that.
We have had the space designed pro bono by a firm of architects who did it for free. And they came up with a green building, which is much needed in this community of Pilsen, which is the top 4 most polluted communities in the city of Chicago because of the neighboring Fisk plant and H. Kramer. What we need are more eco-friendly buildings in the town of Pilsen.
When you met with CEO Brizard, does he have any idea what this building looks like or this neighborhood looks like? Has he been out here?
We have requested a meeting with him several times, and when we did meet him, which by the way was a rush job. We were told that afternoon to meet him within the hour. We had to get a ride and everything to go up there, and we had a very good representation when we finally did end up there within like 45 minutes notice of meeting with him and being squeezed into his busy schedule. At that time we were told that Mr. Brizard has 620 other schools to visit. We're not the only schools. He was not briefed on our situation, and if we think he's going to make any comments about construction or renovating of buildings, we're mistaken, because that is not his specialty.
So at the meeting, you know, what could he possibly even talk about if he hadn't been fully briefed on what's been going on here?
I'm quite sure he was, but I think he wanted to see what we had to say. And you know, what we did was really give him a brief overview of what the struggle has been and how deeply we feel for the center. And basically, where I stand as a parent is there's no room in the school. I'm exasperated every time I walk into that building. And let me tell you something, my son has counseling, and we had to find a room just for counseling my son, and the room that they gave us was the size of a closet. There's no space in that building. They couldn't even give us a room for counseling there when I met with my son and his counselor. We went into a little room. I swear it was the size of a closet. That's all they had to offer us.
Maybe that'll be the library.
Yeah, really, that probably is.